Hey everybody, it's Kirsten here. Today I have an interesting little video for you guys. It's not what I planned to do, but sometimes I just get a feeling like I'm really passionate about an idea and I want to talk about it, and I find that is when I produce some of, well, at least I think, my best videos. If I'm really interested to talk about something rather than if I feel like I'm forcing myself to do it, then I tend to get scatterbrained and stuff. And it's generally just lower quality content in my opinion. So I thought, since I'm really like revved up about this today, I just wanted to talk about it and hopefully you guys find it interesting. I also kind of hate that I'm about to film this video like in all my ballet get up and my ballet hair, because I wanted to talk about the things I wish that people who are not ballet dancers knew about ballet dancers. And one of the biggest things is that we are relatively normal people, or at least we aspire to be. Besides a few strange things about our lives or our lifestyle and our work that are obviously like so far from ordinary, we like to think that we can just go out and enjoy our time with people who don't dance and just function as ourselves and not under the label of being a ballerina or a male ballet dancer, you know? So yes, number one, there are exceptions in every case. There are always the stereotypes. My dad always says that stereotypes wouldn't exist without stereotypical people. So if you do encounter one of those crazy ballerina people who is just all ballet, and you know that was definitely me in a phase of my life, so have grace for them. Just know they're very passionate about what they do, and that's a great thing. But yeah, for the rest of us, generally dancers are pretty okay at being normal, so try to remember that if you are a non-ballet dancer and you encounter a ballet dancer. It's okay to bring up our profession. We're happy to talk about it, but sometimes it's just really nice to walk into a room full of people who don't dance and just be one of them, you know, and leave talk of the glamorous things people think we do behind, and all the questions about like, oh, so you don't eat, right? And like, so you dance on your tippy toes and stuff like that. Just let it go. It's okay. The next thing that comes up a lot is I want to address that generally we are not crazy psycho competitive, and any movie that you might have seen about ballet, especially if it's Black Swan, is so far from accurate. I would say it's not even funny. Yeah, I actually, sometimes it's funny and then other times it's super frustrating that people actually believe stuff like that. Like, oh, we're so cutthroat, we would like hurt each other. And no, generally, people and companies are like super tight. Every environment I've been in, except for like one or two situations, people are so nice to each other and we're very supportive of each other. We almost act like we're a family, which sounds very cheesy, but oftentimes it's true. With the amount of time we spend together and the importance of teamwork in our jobs, like we are very generally supportive of one another. Even though there are very competitive situations we find ourselves in, we're not going to go like putting glass in someone else's point shoes to get the job done. Usually, though this isn't always the case, we know that everybody's going to have their moment in regards to casting. Sometimes it's not fair, sometimes the best person gets the part, and that's okay. But a lot of times, yeah, sometimes it's frustrating, and just a lot of times we just move on, you know, and we like each other and respect each other and are nice to each other and not crazy. This is such a hot topic, and I'm so tired of having to explain this to people because I get a lot of judgment about what I eat or do not eat, and I find this extremely frustrating. People don't seem to understand that ballerinas do eat. Like, I eat a pretty good quantity of food. However, I am picky about the type of food that I eat because I don't eat to be super, super skinny. Like, that's not the number one goal when I eat. I want to eat to be in the best shape I can possibly be in. So yes, it does have a lot to do with fitness, but it also has to do with how well I will be able to perform based on how well I am nourishing myself and keeping myself healthy. If I eat like crap all the time, then I'm probably more prone to getting sick. I mean, I think everyone knows that, or everyone should know that when you're nourishing yourself, eating the right foods, treating your diet like a multivitamin is the best tip I could give anybody. I try and eat that way, and honestly, I almost never get sick. I feel like my immune system is very, very strong, and when I'm really taking care of myself and eating properly, foods that my body agrees with, I find that I don't get any stomach problems, no bloating, nothing like that, which is really important since our work is so physical. We need to be able to feel good and look good, but really, more importantly for ourselves, we need to feel good. So please, next time you encounter a ballerina, if you're not a ballet dancer, don't judge them on what they decide to eat or to not eat, and know that this is a touchy subject for us, and you can't just say like, oh, so you're a ballerina, so you don't eat. Or like, one thing I find that's really not okay is when people see me like at a party and it's that like 1 or 2 times out of the month where I'll have a little bit of junk food, you know? Yeah, sometimes it happens more than that. You know, I'm not gonna speak for everybody or make it seem like I'm overly restrictive. I don't believe I am, although I like to eat foods that make me feel good. Anyway, so they'll see me in that situation and then think that it's okay to be like, I thought you didn't eat that, or something like that. You know, it's just really not your life, not your business. And I just want normal people to know that ballerinas do really have to take care of themselves in that way. Some people do have to focus on maybe losing some weight to be in the best shape of their life, but just know that you're not in their situation. And people aren't, you know, I don't feel like a majority of ballet dancers out there have that mindset of like, I don't eat anything because I need to be really skinny. No, we just eat to nourish ourselves. Please understand that we are not psycho, and we do eat like normal people some of the time / most of the time, although most people do eat junk food, so we don't do that. Anyway, I think that's enough. I think this one is really funny, and I've encountered this a few times recently as I've just met new people, and I tell them I'm a ballet dancer, and they're like, so you're famous? And I just laugh because they, most of the time, will not shake the idea that just because I perform on a stage does not mean I'm famous, okay? There's a difference of people knowing your name being in lights and all that, and just performing, you know? I feel like with art forms like music, musicians aren't always bombarded with like, or I don't want to say it's rude. It's not rude, and people always mean well. I don't want to act like I'm bitter about this because I know I probably treat some other professions this way, although I really try not to, but we all have things that we're just not able to be fully knowledgeable about, and we all have our biases or our curiosities, and so it's okay if like there are some blunders you've made. If you're a non-ballet dancer, this is kind of, if you haven't picked up, this video is kind of for you. Yeah, it's okay. We all understand. I'm just making this video because I think it's interesting to get the information out there and kind of get it off my chest, because I speak to a lot of people who aren't ballet dancers on a weekly basis, and since I've moved to a new city, I'm often meeting new people, and this kind of stuff always comes up, and I just wanted to release it. But anyway, that's enough of the tangent. Now I'll get into some funny things that ballerinas say that I think are very misleading to people who are not familiar with our terms that we just come out with all the time. One of them is the fact that even as professionals, we take class every day. Now, class is something I've learned to explain to people as like team workouts, I suppose, in the realm of sports, I guess. That is the closest equivalent I can come up with. And I say this because I used to be a swimmer back in the day, and so for us, when we did workouts outside of the pool, it's our time to hone in on our weaknesses, improve our technique, and to just maintain and also increase our level of strength so that we're able to perform even better and at our best consistently, and also pushing our best to go further and further. So class for us consists of exercises at the bar. So we like actually hold on to a bar and do a lot of exercises in place, and we isolate certain muscle groups. We kind of warm up for the day, and then at the second half of class, usually they're an hour and a half to 2 hours long. We do exercises in the center, which are more like what you would see on stage. And we do this every single day to both prepare ourselves for the rest of the workday, because really our job is to rehearse our upcoming repertoire for our performances so that we can obviously do that well. And then also we do technique class every morning to improve our skills. So that's what class means for us. Also, just clearing this up, please do not say that we are in a ballet troupe. Ballet people do not say that, okay? We say we are in a company. Troupes are for actors. Companies are for ballet dancers. Also, we do not dance in toe shoes. Please don't say this. We dance in point shoes. Now, again, no judgment. If you just legitimately didn't know, I totally get that. But if you hear ballet dancers saying, I dance in a company and I dance in point shoes, don't keep saying troupes and toe shoes, please. Also, what we do is not all tutus and tiaras and little girly stuff that was the dream of our little 6-year-old selves. It could be masculine. I mean, there are guys that dance, and I'm not a guy, obviously, so I don't want to speak as if I know exactly their experience, but I do want to touch on the fact that, yes, ballet can be a masculine art form, and men should be able to do this without any torment or teasing. I think it's a perfectly wonderful and respectable thing to do that is extremely challenging, extremely physical, and it's not really a super girly thing. Of course, we put on the Nutcracker every year. Almost every company does that. A lot of ballet companies these days, though, they are, it's becoming more popular to do a lot of contemporary repertoire. Almost every company is doing tutu ballet still. So just because we maintain the classicism of our art form doesn't mean everything we do is like girly tutus, tiaras. I think it can be a very mature adult, well, I know it can be a very mature and adult art form. To do it well, you have to obviously be more than a child. So please know that our art form is not childish, and that we also do a lot of performing that is repertoire where we're doing very contemporary movement. So it's often more like edgy in the terms of art, or more physical. Like we might be showing a different aesthetic that's not all like light and you're having fun and you're interpreting like a happy story. Not all things that we perform have to do with the story. Sometimes it's just for the audience to enjoy the movement, or to pick up on a concept, or to have their thoughts provoked. You know, we perform more than just the happy little ballet is about a fictional story, you know? And this is for the people who kind of talk down to ballet dancers, especially, I find this happens a lot with ballerinas, like women. I've gotten spoken to many times by, usually this happens with older men. I really hate to generalize and participate in more stereotyping in this video, but I'm just telling you my experience. Many times I've been talked down to purely because people don't understand what it's like to do what I do, and they don't have a desire to understand. So they're just like, oh, you're a little girl, you are still living in your childish dream, and what you do is cute, you know? I want you guys to know, or whoever would say that to someone like me or say it to me, that what we do is extremely grueling, very hardcore. We put up with so much physical pain, mental strain, stress. we put so much pressure on ourselves to be perfect. You know, obviously we know that we'll never be perfect, but we are all reaching for just a glimpse of perfection that we can amplify, you know? So anyway, what we deal with on a day-to-day basis is far more than the normal person puts themselves through physically and sometimes mentally too. I do acknowledge that our job is not the only hard job out there. I have so much respect for a lot of people and the integrity and hard work that they put into their jobs, but I want people to know who just don't understand what goes into being a ballerina or just a dancer if you're a man, that what we do is extremely difficult, and we have put ourselves through a lot to get to where we are because we love what we do and we're very passionate about it and we believe in it. We believe it adds beauty and value to the world, and it is a profession that is meaningful. It brings a lot of meaning to our lives and hopefully to people's lives who decide to go out for a night and see the ballet. We inspire people. We bring them joy, hopefully, or get them to think about something else, you know, just kind of forget their problems maybe for a little bit and just appreciate the beauty that humans can create. So our profession is really difficult, and it is meaningful, and it is not something that should be looked down upon just because it's misunderstood or it has certain stereotypes or just because we don't make as much money as some other professions. I want people to have more respect for it than they do in general. I find that, well, I really don't want to say that a lot of people don't respect ballet. I get a lot of people who are just completely in awe of what I do, and I'm so like flattered and honored by that. So I do want to acknowledge that there are lots of kind people out there, though they might not understand everything about what I do. That's okay. They still have a lot of respect for it. But then there are also a lot of people who just don't get it, and they don't have any intention of showing respect for the job that I have chosen to pursue. One of my last points that I am especially passionate about, and I really don't mean for this video to sound like a rant. I like to keep my videos very positive, but at the same time, I think it's important to be realistic, and I just wanted to share this stuff that I feel is important, and it's just fresh on my mind. So anyway, one of my last points is that ballet dancers, in order to be very good at what they do, have to be very intelligent. This is something I came across a lot, or this ideology that I came across a lot when I was younger and striving to be a ballet dancer, is people telling me like, oh, ballet is easy, or, oh, but you're so smart, why would you do ballet? That is extremely offensive and extremely hurtful. People who don't get ballet do not understand how much brain power it takes to be good at what we do. We have to be so hyper analytical of ourselves and our own work. We are extremely accountable for our own success and our own improvements, and that takes an extraordinary amount of emotional intelligence and awareness of what we are doing in our work that is both good and bad, although dancers often focus on the not so good points because we are constantly trying to improve ourselves. It takes so much intelligence to do what we do, and I think this is just one of the biggest misconceptions about ballet. Oftentimes, for example, like, we are taught choreography at an extremely fast rate, and we have to do so much of the sorting out of the details in our own minds and do it very quickly to perform well, because a lot of times things will be shown to us once or twice. And we not only have to have the steps down really well, we have to do it exactly to the right timing in the music, and we have to be in line with 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8 other girls, you know, and travel across the stage in perfect formations. It takes so much intelligence and so much awareness and a very quick and bright mind to be really good at what we do, because a lot of improvement has to do with personal investigation and awareness of our strengths and weaknesses. Okay, I hope that that all made sense to you and that it was not offensive in any way, or really, I don't want to come off like I'm angry about this, because honestly, I was just sharing it because I thought it would be of interest. And yeah, I guess sometimes if I came off as a little frustrated, it's because it brought back memories of people just showing no understanding of what I do or no willingness to understand. I do find that frustrating sometimes, but the positive is that I find it joyous to be able to share with people what I do. That's why I have this YouTube channel, and I do get so much fulfillment out of sharing with the world through YouTube and just in my daily life what we do in ballet, and just maybe telling some things to people that they didn't know before. And I also love learning about other people's professions. So I know it's a two-way street. I have a lot to learn about other people's occupations, and I don't want to seem like obviously ballet is the most important thing and all you ballet muggles should know, that's not how it is. So I just hope that you guys found this interesting and that you're not scared away if I sounded like angry at all. I'm not. So yes, please share this with your friends. Share this with any people you know who maybe need to learn a thing or two about ballet. And I hope that you guys will subscribe if you like this and if you want to check out my other videos, or if you don't want to miss a future upload. Also check out my Facebook page, TwinTalksBallet, on Facebook to get some little updates and stay connected, or you can ask me questions there, whatever you want to do. And I think that is all for my shameless plugs. I will see you guys in the next upload. Bye!